YouTube, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here, back in Total War Attila, and we're going to continue the theme of Sicily campaign. In the last one, we've been busy stomping the Duchy of Aquitane. Aquitane? Yeah, however you say that. I'm sure it's at least mostly wrong, but that's okay. I'm saying it. Let's kind of continue. Let's see. I've got a lot of money, which is good, and our income's coming back up a little since having lost trade because obviously we're stealing all their cities, which typically helps someone like me get all my money back. Okay, it's poor fertility here, so I'm probably going to keep the fishing port. Let's switch this over to... let's go Market Village. I think it'll be better in this province. And let's repair the winery and the other items here. This cathedral, we could keep the cathedral here. And I think this province is... Darn it, no, it's not adjacent to Toledo. We kind of need the church adjacent to Toledo. So I'm almost thinking Valencia becomes a good spot for this. We've already got a little bit of corruption, anti-corruption stuff. So like if we take this, convert that to the abbey, we don't need this anymore there. So we can start tearing it down. We could come back up here to Barcelona and convert this over to the royal court. And that way we can spread, so if we look here, we can spread with the hospice sanitation into the adjacent province of Toledo. And then we'll still have the anti-corruption influence that's already here, plus what's coming from the surrounding provinces. So we should still be able to use that to boost Toledo up to ridiculous levels like people have been suggesting, since it has 3 different types of mines. It's a good point. You might as well take advantage of it. So, but speaking of Toledo, there's some upgrades for us to run there. But before I do, let's just make sure we take care of all these provinces that have a lot of repairs and other needs. Yeah, not super worried about this province. Let's do the royal court here. Still don't think I need the barracks here or the forge. I mean, I've already upgraded my troops that are in the vicinity. So let's go ahead and start tearing the forge down. We'll repair the church, because it could be handy. There's another barracks over here that's pointless. Repair that. Repair the farm. Repair the town center. The church school we don't need. Tear that down. What's the fertility here is poor. You know, we could leave the food market and still build everything that we need to. So I'll repair it. And then once we get this converted, we can put the treasury and other buildings there. This stuff's just all unnecessary. So we'll again go full economic boost. And if we need more barracks and stuff, we shall build it. I'm a little bit worried about this army, where their faction leader's at, where they're going to go. They could start pouncing this way, which means that honestly we should probably go ahead and raise up one more army at Pavia. I don't believe I have any other statesmen in the family. I do not. So, melee, what does melee give me? Extra experience to recruits, zeal, integrity. I don't know, we'll take this guy. And we'll use him, so... Marix, yes. Well, there's a couple of guys with that same name. We'll spot him. He's the one with like the silver looking hat on. So let's go ahead and raise forces. It would be this fellow here. Put him into the city. And it is... I don't know, this is Scutatoi Axeman. I was like, what? I can train that many Varangian guards? Yeah, you can only have 3 faction-wide, so I'm gonna... I could go ahead and just put it in this army, and if I bounce into one of the other armies, we'll pass it off to them. So let's see, we definitely want some Scutatoi spears, a couple of Imperial Scutatoi axes. Let's get 3 crossbowmen, and a couple of shot cav, a couple of tagmata. We only need 2 onager, so the extra unit will be the Varangian Guard. There we go. And I've got these agents, well, they should still be deployed, but that one was not. So there we go. And that's going to take up most of the rest of our money for this turn. I do believe it is time to end a turn. Well, I've already got this general up here. Commercial buildings, unit experience maybe, I guess. I don't know. Not super worried about it. Campaign movement range, there it is. Let's give him that. And this general here has got the campaign movement range. Might as well unlock some of these so that we can get down to those bigger skills at the end of the tree. I think we'll get counterattacked by the Duchy of Aquitane. We'll see. At least I feel pretty certain we will. Yep. Wow, 3 stacks. And then those guys. I can't stop these guys. This is just, we're going to have to give it to them. But I'm glad they came south rather than heading back towards my lands, which would have been far more annoying. So there we go. We're going to have to give them that. I don't like giving them much, but we'll give it to them. If it makes them feel better. So they're going to just siege me over there with those 3 armies that I've beaten back previously. I guess we'll just give our blessing to this. I'm not really particularly concerned about it. One of your daughters has been enticed by a suitor and is planning to elope. Whatever. These guys still have a pretty fair number of their troops here. A lot of skirmishers, just a lot of skirmishers. Kind of thinking about the right way to play this. Let's take these guys out of forced march. I think those guys, I can't remember if they headed down this path or not. But Aquitaine took that province there. Let's push down to this point where they can retrain those losses, and we'll kind of put those guys in check. And part of me wants to take this army up here to relieve this army. It may mean losing Barcelona temporarily, which would be okay, but I just want to make sure we don't lose an army here, and by sending up this reinforcement we might be able to crush the Duchy of Aquitaine up there all at once. These troops will be ready within 3 turns and can start moving that direction, and this guy might be ready to start imparting military training. He is. I'll let him sit there and help finish the recruitment, and then we'll get him ready for imparting military training. This army is going to take some losses due to attrition, but not if we get them up here into Savaria. And we are ready to hit the Franks with 2 different armies if we need to. They are at war with the Duchy of Bavaria. And that's good for me, because if they kill them, then it just means that I have 1 enemy to focus on rather than several. So I do believe this will leave us in good position. Now this navy needs to be brought out to bear, and we'll bring it up against this this settlement here.
How can I assist you?
I did have eyes on both these settlements last turn.
Swift and silent.
There it is. So still no enemies there. I'm going to save some money for a couple turns and then wait for some of these upgrades to roll through. We do need to continue tearing that down for now, though. Let's go ahead and end one more turn real quick. Let's see what the Duchy of Aquitaine does now. They broke their siege and they're going to try and fortify to protect themselves from me. War weariness has increased because of letting them win that battle and just other stuff that's going on, but it will decrease quite quickly once we start handling things. Let's see, where's the food market? Food market. Okay, and then this will be our treasury and gallery. Okay, so this leaves us in a pretty good position. We do have an army to the south of us, and we probably want to hit it first because it's the faction leader, and that's going to be a more crushing blow. These guys kind of just backed up and fortified, thinking that that would make them safe, and they are so incorrect because I have onager. So you may fortify all you want. Now they're going to flee.
Commander, at your command.
We need to cross the river with this army.
Make haste, men.
Move up close.
On the move. Kill the cowards.
We still did not get our reinforcements, but it's giving us solid chances. So we're going to have to fight it. I didn't move these. I would have to get both armies across the river. I don't know if I could have or couldn't have, but this is okay. Let's go ahead and fight this. We want to kill as many of these guys as we can. Don't want them to retreat, get away to live another day, or retrain, or anything like that. The only thing that worries me is the amount of skirmishers here. They could be brutally painful. Charging cavalry at one of them will leave others free, so preferably killing them with my crossbows would be the way that I'd like to go. There's enough of them, though, that I don't want them throwing that many javelins at my crossbows either. It looks like we're just stuck with nasty weather here. So I have attacked them. The nice thing about this layout here is it should give a couple of my cavalry units safe access to that onager out on the flank. Crappy thing here is that their onager will probably get a lot of kills. Kind of like to have axe units on the flanks. Let's leave our swords kind of... I'm going to try and spread a lot of units very thin. I want to put my onagers up here to see if we can quickly put fire there. We got our crossbows. And let's see, Scutatoi axes can take this flank. Supported by this cavalry. And the Varangian guards can support this cavalry. My general will support in the center. Let's go ahead and start the battle. The AI is going to want to gather up all their reinforcing troops, which should give my onagers time to move forward and destroy their onagers.
The enemy has reinforcements.
I wonder if they're going to move forward and attack me. They are moving forward a little. I don't know what their intention is.
The enemy has been sighted.
I'm going to move those troops forward. Just inching my onager up to see if we can get shots on their onagers. Otherwise, my onager would love to focus on their... Okay, the rest of their troops are going to start reforming. This is the perfect time to single out and destroy their onager. And I don't want these troops standing too close to my own onager where they might be returning fire. There we go. Okay, they're using flaming volleys on me. Actually, might wreck that onager piece right there. They got very close to it. I'm just using standard shot, hoping that mine will be more accurate. There we go. We took out one of their artillery pieces. They might do the same to me, though, so we'll see. Don't see an artillery duel too terribly much here. Looks like I just returned fire. They have lost... Still only one of their artillery pieces, but they've lost a couple of their men. This will just save my cavalry from getting hit by their onager. That's the main reason why I'm doing this. And then not having to risk my cavalry. I'd rather my onager take shots like this. Like right there, see they destroyed one of my pieces. But we've just destroyed all of theirs, so ceasefire. Okay, that leaves us in pretty good shape. they're gonna just run their onager crew forward. Like, hey, if we couldn't beat you in an artillery duel, we're just gonna charge headlong into you. And I have a little surprise waiting for them in the forest anyway. Let's watch my, well, what are almost cataphracts charge them. They have a different name that I can't pronounce. These guys are gonna get super wrecked. Very heavy shot cavalry. Oh gosh, they're coming in with more of their troops. They got Jav Cav there. Hit the Jav Cav, hit it. Let's bring our Varangian guards up and get ready to protect. These guys are just bonsai right here. Straight for my onagers. Better bring my infantry up. Yeah, so the AI's gone bonsai on me. They're just gonna bonsai straight in. A bit annoying. These Varangian guards should rip up their mercenary Andalusian cavalry pretty easily. I'm gonna pull my Tagmata back from that a little bit. I'm gonna countercharge now this guard cavalry. I'm gonna let them kind of have a piece of my onager, just for flavor. Let's bring up our infantry. We should be able to. The problem is we're now way out of position over here. Got guys a long way off. They are blobbing up something ferocious here, though. Okay, this onager crews can probably run away. Let's get our shock cavalry away from this. And let's just plunge our Varangian guard into all this infantry. Just want to block their infantry for a moment. And again, just blocking maneuvers most of the place here. Okay, target the big blobs of skirmishers. The Varangian guards should be racking up an absurd number of kills, and they are. I don't want to charge my cataphracts into that blob, because I think they'll just take more damage than it's worth. I'm targeting their skirmisher blob. I'm going to try and bring this infantry in, and I'm going to pressure their skirmisher blob as well. Bring my other Varangian guard up. This Varangian guard is 212 kills. They've got a skirmisher cab back here in the woods, but I'm pretty well covered by the rain in the woods. We do need to support that Varangian guard as best we can. Okay. Let's get around behind all these skirmishers. We'll plunge an infantry after him this way. Get over here quickly, please. Oh, this is not good. We're gonna have to rear charge these spearmen and hope that they die. Same thing here. I'm gonna have to go help my Tagmata. We've gotten blobbed up on the skirmishers here. This is definitely bad with so many javelins present. Hit the bowmen. Okay, attack these guys in the back. The Varangian guard is just unleashing an unreal amount of death. Our cataphracts actually got a very nice charge on those spearmen and just laid waste to them. Alright, their general's dead, and now they are going to just get haunted in this melee blob by very powerful melee units. And at this point you're seeing a pretty big chain route, so it was a little bit ugly positioning wise for me, but it's going to turn out really nicely. Here in the woods it turned into a slaughter for my cavalry, and this infantry blob was just an epic slaughter. The Varangian guards here just lopping off the heads of all these guys. Absolutely brutal. I think I managed to save my onager crews too, even though they got beat up a little. So definitely good. Let's take the Tagmata this way. Cavalry just keep chasing skirmishers. Send my crossbows out there and take those guys out. Yeah, that was beautiful. We killed a lot of enemy units here, and with relatively few losses. These late game units showing their value here when it comes to just killing power and versatility and all that kind of stuff. So even though we were really out of position, the AI blobbed. Like, they attacked me out of position, which was good, but they blobbed massively when they did it. Look at that, 400 kills on the Varangian Guard and didn't even lose half their men. I'd say that unit paid for itself already. So, pretty impressive. That's more than a 4-to-1 kill ratio that they had in combat. I'm going to just kill the captives so that these guys have less to retrain. And we will hunt them down. War weariness is now decreased because we dealt these guys a crushing blow. We can catch up with this stack and should be able to crush all the remnants in an easy auto-resolve here. Just do a protective stance since we have a missile supremacy. This stack, I will go ahead and take on some warriors. How did they get to retreat twice in the same turn? That seems highly unlikely. Maybe, yeah, I don't understand that at all. I'm going to move these guys back to friendly territory because they need to retrain. So now we have this army, and I think killing their faction leader is going to be the first important step, and we'll use our faction leader to do it. So this is a faction leader on faction leader brawl. I think we should just go ahead and attack, not give them time to get reinforcements. So let's go ahead and fight this on the battlefield. No Varangian guards in this army, unfortunately, but I can get some. The Imperial Scitatoi axes, though, will be fairly potent. Definitely not a Varangian guard, but still pretty potent. Those guys are awesome. Wasn't the Varangian guard, weren't they Danish? Someone can clarify that for me. That'd be nice to know. I can't remember really the story behind them, but I'll tell you what, that was an impressive performance that we got out of them there. I'm gonna just sit right outside of the range of that tower. Flaming. Get our crossbows. Let's see, let's get our spears to protect the onager. And then just our infantry can go in the center here. This is all Tagmata Cav. I'm trying to remember what the Tagmata Cavalry looks like. Yeah, those guys look pretty nice. The general looks nice too. Makes me wonder, is my mod turned on? I think that the reskin mod's turned on. I remember some of these units looking slightly different, but it almost feels like my mod's not turned on here, like the reskin mod. I can't remember. Well, if the Imperial Scitatoi have the long spears, then I'll know. No, it doesn't look like my mod's working tonight. Or I forgot to turn it on, one of the two. I don't know. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and start the battle. I'm going to leave my crossbows on fire at will, at least for the time being. Ooh, this blob is just too juicy to not plop an explosive round into it. Got the general right there. Yeah, with the general so invitingly close, I feel obliged to put my onagers to use here. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got a hit there. Let's go ahead and actually, you know, we'll just keep firing on some of their guys here. They're gonna pull their skirmisher cavalry so glaringly close to my men. I'll go ahead and do this. I'm gonna put my guys into shield wall. Yeah, our general is getting hit by their onager. Now that's annoying. I was kind of tinkering around with their skirmish cab, but I'm gonna retarget back over here onto their onagers. Ooh, we took a nasty hit right there with those Imperial Scitatoi. We kind of need to spread our infantry out a little because we are getting hammered by their onager. Okay, their cavalry is making idiotic charges into my spears. Really just those skirmishers back there that are kind of ticking me off. How did one of my onager get dislodged from their... The cavalry must have pulled through my spearmen or something.
ambushed.
Get into that fight there. Got my onagers back up. Their onagers keep going in and out of line of sight because they won't quit moving. Okay, now they're trying to go to my onagers from the side. I'm gonna have to intercept them. Got my swords into that fight. Let's pull another sword unit. The enemy just insists on blobbing its units here. Choose a new target. Bring our Scitatoi axes over. I'm gonna try and pull my fire bombers over and see if we can get a throw into this blob. Oh, misclicked there and started to pull my spearmen out of battle. They're probably gonna take a pretty fair number of losses there due to that misclick. Yeah, my fire bombers have a great opening here. Actually, what am I doing there? Just roll those guys through there. Pull the crossbows back. I must have misclicked them, meaning to get the fire bombers. Do want them to attack there, but I may need to... Let's put them into a slightly more dense formation so they don't get caught up on so many of these battles. There we go. Now I'm going to chase down their skirmishers. Wow, axes are getting throttled by their... Why do my onager crews keep dropping their siege engines here? Maybe it's because they're getting too close to the combat. I've got my fire bombers on fire at will. Take these guys off fire at will. Fire bombers are starting to take care of business. My axemen are just getting shredded by the onagers. But my fire bombers just absolutely wrecked this infantry blob there. Both picked up 100 kills between the two of them pretty quickly. I'm gonna go over here and support my cavalry. My cavalry is taking a crap load of javelins. I'm gonna hit this spearman with the Scitatoi axes and try and tie down the rest of these skirmishers over here. I'm getting wrecked by the skirmishers. I don't want to lose my Tagmata. I have silver chevrons on these guys, and I hate how they're actually kind of putting up a decent fight in melee versus my Tagmata, which is utterly nonsense. Let's bring more cavalry out there to support. Just need to take out these guys. Their skirmishers are now making a run at my onager crew. Okay, we're starting to bust through their skirmishers. I'm gonna actually pull this cavalry back. It's getting killed. So is this one. Good grief, get out of there. Don't kill my cavalry. They're down to 5 men. I'm probably gonna lose them. Dadgummit. Freaking filthy skirmishers. And they're onagers. I don't know how many kills they've got. 128 and 61. Sure enough, they killed that, no, it wasn't that cavalry unit, but I don't know which unit they obliterated. It wasn't a spear unit, it's not a crossbow, it was one of my cavalry units. That's just straight irritating.
The enemy are losing their advantage.
Well, I'm gonna have to retrain probably a couple of my Tagmata units in the end. Let's watch the Scitatoi axemen wreck these chumps. I think, was that someone's head rolling off there? I think it was. Get some revenge, see how these, skirmishers like getting axed. Yeah, their tower probably finished off the cavalry unit. Okay. Take up your artillery units again. Pull back outside of their tower range. Wow, we ended up getting all kinds of crapped on here. Way worse than we should have. I think we have range on their general already. Let's drop some explosive rounds on him since he doesn't want to fight us. We'll give him something to think about. I'm gonna send this Tagmata in, finish off these guys before they try and disrupt my artillery crew. They routed anyway. They're gonna keep coming back from routing, but I think the enemy general is either gonna be forced back or killed by the explosive rounds. I wish it blew rubble off the buildings that would kill people too. That would be awesome if the environment was destructible like that and it would damage units. That would be super awesome. Okay, this Onager crew is going to suicide charge my cavalry, and they're like all spread out weird everywhere. Yeah, I don't know what in the world. They were like all spread out into an odd loose formation. Got this building on fire, but my guys are missing the enemy general pretty consistently, though we did get a nice hit there. There we go. Alright, well that was certainly not a pretty battle. Not pretty at all. And I will have lost probably 2 Tagmata cavalry units that we're going to need to retrain. And I think I tore down the barracks that was there that would have helped me do it. I only lost 1 Tagmata. Even with 4 men left, we managed to keep the 1, though. That's very, very lucky for me. But yeah, we did lose 1, and we killed all of the defenders, so we're going to occupy. Barcelona, yeah, we've already torn down the barracks. Well, phooey. We could just hire a mercenary Andalusian cavalry for the time being. So we'll bring them in. Alright, we'll use that until I get in a position to regain my Tagmata cavalry. We're still 2 turns from kind of finishing up some of the buildings that we wanted to do here. Let's repair these buildings. And I do believe that I'm probably out of time for this episode. But we won some big battles, some key battles, actually. We need to tear that down, tear that down. Tear that down. Alright, and then this army is only 2 turns from being ready. So we will soon have another army to be able to put pressure on our enemies. So we've got some good armies here. I think 5 of them. Yeah, 5 good armies across the map, which should be enough to put quite a lot of pressure on our enemies. I might go ahead and... We could probably go ahead and use this army to just take Pamplona. There we go. That way that army will kind of start retraining. This army's retraining, so yeah, we pretty much broke them over here. I say pretty much, we definitely broke them. Let's see what this army does now. That's their new faction leader at this point. And this navy is actually in a position to take this province as well. Awesome. So yeah, we took back the province they took from us and took 2 more of theirs. So the Duchy of Aquitane is going to be in pretty rough shape. They have a couple of provinces left, but they are not looking happy at the moment. They have Bordeaux, Agen, Bayonne, or however you say that, yeah. And then this city over here, Oviedo. So yeah, not a whole lot that they have left. So pretty excited to take them out of commission, and I think within the next episode or 2 we should be ready to start taking a crap on the Franks. Hope y'all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now.